and welcome to Spoiler Kings. I'm Brian the Grizzly here with Brandman Brandon over here. How's it going, man?
Not too bad, buddy. How about you? It's almost my favorite time of the year. It's almost October 1st.
Yeah,
Halloween all the time.
This is already October for me. It is already. I mean, you're ready for all these movies and shows and the trick or treat and the costumes and the candy too. Forget about that.
Already ordered my costume, man. Already ordered my costume just an hour and a half ago. I clicked that order button after a week and a half of scrolling through different websites just to settle on the right one. So we are good. We are good.
That's awesome. Well, today we are just going to review She-Hulk. We're going to do a Andor, episode 4. Mm-hmm. We're going to review, something classic. What should we do?
What do you think?
How about Hocus Pocus? What do you think about that?
I am in.
All right. So we'll do a classic review of Hocus Pocus because we will do Hocus Pocus 2 on Monday.
Yes.
And me and actually one of the viewers, Derpy, watched Hocus Pocus and did that on, was it last week for Saturday? Last week Saturday. So that's why I could go ahead and talk about it all like it was just fresh in my mind. And you know what?
As always, shout out to Derpy. Thanks for joining us, buddy.
I gotta say thank you, Derpy, for get us together to watch it. Just talk about the nostalgia and the movie. It doesn't hold up, and we'll discuss all those things very soon. How's it going, Perp Minded?
Perp Minded, hey man.
All right. So first, let's go ahead and discuss She-Hulk. So I'm gonna go hit the transition, and we'll go from there. All right.
All right.
And welcome back to the Spoiler Kings. She-Hulk episode 7. What the hell is going on?
That's a great question. It is kind of going in a direction that I kind of figured it would go in. It was really easy to kind of peg this episode as more filler. I know that we're using that term. We have used that term. I've used that term for more than one episode, but it all seemed to pay off, especially in the end. Kind of in terms of what it means for the future, not just for this show, but for the future of the MCU. Potentially, I think there's a bigger scale plan at work here. But it was a fun episode. Her at a retreat. It was nice to see Blonsky kind of in his very much in his element at this point in time.
Yep.
I want to believe that he's completely turned over a new leaf. I'm not 100% convinced yet. Because
agree.
He's a wholly different character than he was in Incredible Hulk. But as the saying goes, prison changes a man.
As they said, the inhibitor was not working, so maybe it was electricity. Yeah. Maybe it was him getting out. You never know. They really never discussed it. Per might say episode 7 of She-Hulk was very Doom Patrol, but Doom Patrol was PG. That's exactly.
I can see that now that that's mentioned for sure.
That's good. I like that. If it was PG, I don't know. We got a little PG-13 a little bit. I mean, she did.
It was a fun episode.
This should have been like episode 3
It was a fun episode.
Yeah, like Tank says this should be the episode 3 or 4. Like it's actually back to the story, kind of.
I agree.
All right. I agree.
This could have been an earlier episode.
Yeah. I'll say my opinion is if everyone's seen the last couple of shows we've done, I've hated 5 and 6. I hated it. They just did nothing to the story for me.
Yeah. And I think those were the ones that I was just okay with.
Yeah, I think Tank actually liked them. But I absolutely hated the way it was going. I thought it had nothing to do with the story. I thought it was stupid. I thought that's what I was going to say about this episode.
Yeah.
And if you think
as we're kind of
you're absolutely wrong. I got to say, I actually loved this episode. I thought it was really cool. The payoff was worth it. Her transition, you know, her transition and focusing on her was actually good. This one, I felt like it wasn't. The last two episodes was just kind of just drawing on. I'm looking like, oh my god, is it ever going to end? But I was enjoying it. I loved it, and I have to say, I wonder if it's because it's another cameo. Can they do it? Can they make a good episode without the cameo? That is my question.
Yeah, you sure did ask that, and this has been very light on the cameos. You know, this episode, last week's episode too.
No, I mean, but no, this episode had Abomination, and then had all the other. It has to be. I mean, just because like I include the Hulk, you know, as Bruce Banner as a cameo, or Wong as a cameo. Abomination is a cameo, and once again, once he with another character seems to be able to carry the story better. Even though the focus was totally her, and she did a great job with that focus. I mean, she did a wonderful job. This is one of my favorites that she's done. But I still got to say, you know, she still needs somebody else.
Yeah, I think I was kind of questioning as to whether Abomination's like a cameo because he's been kind of a almost a principal or a constant at least throughout the show.
He's in 3 episodes
in terms of narrative.
3 to 7.
You know, what was it? This is the third episode, second, third.
This is third episode he was in.
Third episode he's been on. So yeah, I'm slightly inclined to call him a principal character because he has kind of driven the plot. In a
Wong
major
was in
way.
3.
Wong was at 3.
Yeah. So I mean, and
losing track of that.
And then Bruce was in 2. You know, like I feel like. I don't know,
but I'm having fun with it. You know, it was fun seeing her in a retreat and kind of getting in touch with her inner self.
Well, it took a lot to get her there. So, first thing, tell me about the things you liked about this episode.
Say about the what?
The things you liked in the episode. Where are the good parts?
I liked the other characters who were there on the, you know, on the, you can't say ranch, right?
Yeah, you can say ranch. It's okay.
Yeah. I liked that. Like I said, I liked the idea of her getting in touch with her inner self. It was a really good chance for Tatiana Maslany to really kind of like flex even more of her comedic chops. It was a lot more in the forefront, I felt, than some of the other episodes. And she's always been a great actress. She's always been a really Orphan Black, stronger Perry Mason. It's been really, really refreshing to see her flex a lot more of her comedic acting chops, because if you've seen Orphan Black, you know this girl can really do it all. And so I think it was her acting that really, really carried it. Blonsky, I think Tim Roth really, really steals his scenes. I'm so entertained by the prospect of this like hard-nosed, former aggressive, you know, like career military badass that we saw him as now this man of peace and zen. It's really great to see. I liked that we saw a member of the Wrecking Crew, you know, be a part of this. That was really different, and I do kind of like how they kind of add that kind of superpower twist to like a lot of the tropes that we see in a lot of shows dealing with like a single career woman looking for love and trying to navigate a normal social life. You know, this guy who she thought was her Prince Charming ghosts her, and then only to turn out, which I think we kind of saw coming, has ulterior motives.
Yeah, everyone saw it. Everyone saw it coming.
Yeah, I thought that was fun. You know, because it's staying comic booky in that regard. So, but
I
yeah,
like that for different reasons. I liked her being a girl and being unsure of herself and understanding a lot of times they talk about how it's difficult being a woman. You walking down the street, doing all these things, and dating. Seeing that different perspective was very interesting. I enjoyed seeing her deal with that. One thing I also I like the Wrecking Crew guy, but you know what I didn't. If he was really someone who changed, why wouldn't he tell her who he's working for? You know, like
Yeah.
who hired him? If he really changed, why would he share with Jen all the information? I thought that was very weird. I liked the whole thing with Josh. Like I enjoyed him, you know, playing the slow game, slow playing it the whole time, and then getting her blood. She didn't say she got pricked anyway either. So that was interesting. How did he do that?
Yeah, and not to jump too far ahead, but I'm thinking, and I believe Tank came with this theory the other week, and I think this furthers that. You know, I'm starting to believe more and more her blood is being collected for Samuel Stearns to completely turn him into the leader.
Okay. So wait a minute, didn't we get a announcement today that like what's his name? Harrison Ford is going to reprise the role of, well, he's going to actually do the role of
replace
the Red Hulk.
William Hurt as General Ross.
Yeah, General Ross. Yeah, so he'll be Red Hulk.
I am totally fine with that.
But is it coincidence that we get that announcement after this episode?
No, I don't think anything is coincidence now in the MCU.
So that's why I was like, well, maybe that has something to do with it. Maybe it was the government. Maybe it's one of these agencies too. It could be any of this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't think anything. Marvel, if anything, they're very, very good at keeping things under wraps nowadays, and completely blindsiding us.
Hurt Minded says, I still think he's playing people, and I do. I think so too. I don't believe it's electricity.
Even though I'm entertained by watching him, and I'd really like to think he's turned over a new leaf. I don't think he 100% has.
Yeah, exactly. So Tank said also made it seem like that was the real Wrecking Crew. That's possible.
Yeah.
Said Josh told Jen, "You thought I was feeling you."
That was cold.
That was so cold. That was so cold. What are some things you didn't like about this episode, though?
No pun intended.
What didn't you like?
Like I said, I'm really waiting for this show to really, really find its footing and its traction. And early on, it seemed like it was moving at a very... Oh, what's that?
There's only 2 episodes left.
There's only 2 episodes left, and I'm trying to get a feel for where they're going to go, because it really feels like the last 2 episodes might run the risk of being overstuffed.
Yes, thrown together and just
rush mode. You know?
We've had 3 fillers, or at least those other 2 were fillers. I think this was a good episode, but those other 2 were nothing. They did nothing to the plot. And now we're going to get rushed through these last 2 episodes.
Yeah, they're really gonna have to fire on all cylinders. Not only fire on all cylinders, they're gonna have to pump it up on NOS for the final 2 episodes.
All right, so what do you think we're going to see in these last 2 episodes then?
It's time for Matt Murdock, dude.
Okay.
He's going to show up on the next episode.
You sure? We've been saying that for the last 2 episodes.
No. He's got to show up. He's got to drive the narrative in terms of really making her completely embrace her destiny and what she needs to do as She-Hulk. I think that's next. I think it makes narrative sense for it to be next, once and for all. And then she finally goes all in, finally embraces who she is as She-Hulk. We're going to see her a lot more in her She-Hulk glory, not just as Jen, not just reverting back and forth whenever somebody asks her to. she's going to do it willingly and happily, finally.
Hmm.
And we got to get some kind of reveal for this episode. I'm kind of I wouldn't be surprised if the final episode's a little longer than the other ones, just for that finale. And I would not be surprised if her blood is and I can't take the credit for this because other people have said it, is for Samuel Stearns to make him into the leader. I wouldn't be surprised even if we do see him.
What if next episode, episode 8, you do not see Daredevil?
Mm-hmm.
What would you say then?
I'd still be okay with him not showing up.
How would any of this stuff make sense?
There's got to be. Oh, what's that?
How would any of this stuff make sense? All the Easter eggs, all the things we're waiting for. And then we find out that Daredevil is held to a 15-second clip as a post-credit scene on episode 9. How would that make you feel?
To quote one of the other Marvel movies, I would hate that I've waited so long for something so disappointing.
There you go. Hurt Minded said, "This is why Disney should be releasing all the episodes at once, or at least 2 episodes a week." I can see that. Giving us a little bit more information. Wouldn't that be something if Daredevil didn't show up in the series at all? Yeah.
It would be the ultimate trolling.
Yeah.
It would be the ultimate trolling.
I would be highly pissed. So we haven't got the costume yet, or Frogman, or Daredevil. Like, come on, they know what we want. They're just teasing it. How can you tease it this long and keep people engaged? And I feel like they're doing this a disservice because I think this is a very good idea. I feel like she's a great actress. I think She-Hulk could be so many things, but they're running in place too often. Yeah. I sit back and think about the episode, and I feel like they're just running in place without advancing the story. Like, we've had the same ideas of who the bad guy was since episode 5 and got nothing since. Episode 4. We knew episode 4 to 5, we knew who the bad guy was, and we have got nothing. The story has not advanced. She has advanced in who she is, but it didn't take 3 episodes to do that.
I agree.
That was a 1 episode thing they could have done. They could have done just the Blonsky thing, and that would have been enough. So why? And then that makes me worry. So as you said, Matt Murdock is going to definitely show up next episode. Makes me feel like he might not. Like, this is just all a tease. He knows the episode. It keeps you coming back for more because it's Marvel and they're geniuses, and then you get nothing.
Mm-hmm.
All this is just because.
It surprised me.
It could be just because they want to keep your mind off of Black Adam. So I'm just going to prolong. We only got 6 episodes of information. But we're going to make it 9 episodes so you don't think about Black Adam until we're done.
I wouldn't put it past Marvel. Whenever, now that you mentioned that, it makes me think back to that the first trailer for Infinity War where we see that money shot of Cap, Bucky, Black Panther, Black Widow, War Machine, and Falcon, and Hulk running through Wakanda, and that never happened.
Exactly. This is what they do. So that's why I'm like, I don't think we really know anything. I believe we're going to get to the end and we'll be like, what the hell?
Mm-hmm.
Like next episode, you're thinking we're going to get Matt Murdock, we're going to get like Wong again. It's going to get Wong again. And then episode 9 is going to come and she's just living her life and she's going to the shows and she's wearing the dress that we saw. She's coming out of the limo. And then at the end of that, Matt Murdock shows up. Like, after all that, you can't just be a celebrity. You have to live both your lives. And that's all we get out of him and then it's over. There we go, Andy. I love Andy bringing that question.
Hey, Andy, what's going
Blonsky
on?
connected to the leader. Would that surprise you?
It wouldn't surprise me, at least not in the context of the movies. The leader, or Samuel Stearns, did help turn Blonsky into the leader, or did help turn Blonsky into the Abomination. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And in turn, Blonsky inadvertently began to turn him into the leader. I'm not sure.
Well, think about it. Just think about what his thing. So Blonsky is trying to convince She-Hulk that Jen is okay. Being Jen is a good thing. You don't have to be She-Hulk. You could be just Jen. And that could be a good thing for any person. Or it could be when she's Jen, she's more vulnerable. And then not think about Josh. Don't worry about him. He's just a guy. You don't have to worry about your blood getting out there. And Blonsky's the distraction, and the leader, he knew what was going on, and he thought about this so far ahead of the time. He just been playing her the entire time.
I'd love that. Like I said, I want to believe that Blonsky has truly changed, but I don't think he has, and I could definitely see that happening.
So I'm just saying these things can be happening. He said, I think best episode will be the last one because it'll be setting up New World Order movie. I think you're hoping a whole lot, Tank. I'm hoping you're 100% correct. I really am. But I would not be surprised.
I'm excited for New World Order the more I hear about it. And now they're saying Mark Ruffalo is rumored to be in talks to return. I'm getting excited for that movie. I was already excited with the direction they seem to be going with that, especially with the leader being the villain, who I've been waiting for ever since they gave that tease in the Edward Norton Incredible Hulk movie. I've been waiting for the leader.
I gotta say this: Edward Norton Hulk would tear up everybody else. If it was just his Hulk, he would have torn everybody up.
I will defend that movie to the bitter end. I will defend that movie to the bitter end.
Thor, they're fighting in Ragnarok. That Incredible Hulk, that Norton Incredible Hulk, would have killed Thor. He would have killed him.
That Hulk was nasty, so badass.
All right. So you told me where we think we're getting for next episode. I'm hoping you're right. I'm hoping that we get Matt Murdock, but I am no longer holding my breath. I don't think we know anything. And you know what? I'm not even mad at Marvel because they told us what they're going to get, where we're going to get. And we were like, they're going to throw some surprises in there. And they're like, no, this is what we're going to do. It's going to be like Ally McBeal. It's going to be about her life too. It's going to be about her being a lawyer. They told us what it was. And we just put our own expectations on it.
They did. They touted this even when it was in production, when it was in pre-production, they touted it as a legal comedy. So when I heard that, I'm like, oh, it's going to be it's going to be Ally McBeal, and I was okay with that. I had made peace with that. I actually liked that because it was a little
having so much Hulk and then having Wong and having the Abomination. They've teased us.
Mm-hmm.
So all right. LOL. Incredible Hulk is the best MCU movie because it's on HBO Max. Watching it today, Stern had plenty of Hulk's blood at the end of Incredible Hulk, so he specifically needs She-Hulk's blood because her blood is better. Her blood is the combination. It's the thing that makes everything stable to be able to transform back and forth. So he doesn't need any Hulk blood. He needs specifically her blood. That's a very good point.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to leave it here, guys. I'm going to say, as I said, I like this episode, but with 2 episodes left, they have a lot of catching up to do.
Yep.
All right.
The last 2 are going to be a speed run, I'm thinking.
It's going to be too much. They're going to pack so much in, and we're going to miss some stuff. And we're going to say, why didn't you just give us 3 episodes? of this instead. Put it at 2. It is what it is. We can't yell Marvel because they gave us all the other stuff. So, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Next topic.
Let's.
All right. I don't know if you had a chance to talk about Andor yet. So, have you had a chance to look at any of this stuff from Andor yet?
Oh yeah, I'm all caught up.
All right. So, tell me what you think about episode 4.
I'm really I'm appreciating the fact that this is, first and foremost, I really like this show. It's very much a breath of fresh air in terms of what we've seen from previous Star Wars content. I'm really liking the whole slow burn element of this show, man. I'm really liking.
I want to hear. I know. I really want to hear what you got to say about this because. Oh yeah, I know you're out for Andor spoilers. Sorry about that, Andy. We're not going to do it too much. Give us like 15 minutes. We'll be out.
I like that it's expanding this side of the universe that we haven't seen a whole lot of, and I'm into, like they're basically plotting a heist.
Yes, exactly what they're doing.
How many times have we seen that in the context of Star Wars movies or shows?
Well, okay, but how is it Star Wars? And this is my ignorance. I'm totally 100% announcing that. I understand. How is it Star Wars without the Force? I just don't like it. I just don't like it.
I kind of like it.
It's not Star Wars.
I kind of like it.
It's Doom. it's Doom.
But it really shows that there's a whole universe out there, and there's a whole struggle and war going on outside of the bounds of the Force. I kind of like that. I think that's cool.
All right. I don't hate the show, but you know what it takes me? It takes me a long time to turn the show on.
Yeah,
and that's what.
Like I said, it's a slow burn of a show.
Because I know I'm going to have to really pay attention and really try to get into it, and it's just when I think of Star Wars, I have certain elements that I always expect. And it's taken too long to get to any of it. And the story itself is good. The story itself is interesting. But to me, it's Star Wars adjacent, just like Dune is Star Wars adjacent. That's why I brought up Dune.
Oh, okay, yeah, I get.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So with the spice and all that, because
it
needs to be in the same world. It's Star Wars, but my complaint is not about the show. My complaint is that it doesn't feel like Star Wars, and I totally understand why. Because you have to get away from the whole Skywalker everything, right? But you really didn't, because Darth Vader's still there. So it's it's hard for me to explain, but I just feel like there's something missing.
I get that. I do get that. But I think, once again, just to reiterate, I think that's kind of what's making me gravitate towards it even more than, some of the more recent stuff that we got, as much as I've liked Obi-Wan and, The Mandalorian and Boba Fett, even though Boba Fett was...
You can't touch The Mandalorian or Obi-Wan. I can't touch that. It's better than Boba Fett.
Oh, no.
It's way better.
What I'm saying is... stuff like Mandalorian, Obi-Wan kind of very, very much fits into that continuity and what we're used to from Star Wars. I like that this is something that we're not really used to. We haven't really seen anything like this besides, some of the novels or some of the comics and stuff like that. I really like that it's, I appreciate that it's doing something different. Like I mentioned, I appreciate that, it's very, very, what's it called? It's definitely very character driven as well, in terms of the character of Andor himself. I think he's a pretty compelling character, and I even thought so even as far back as Rogue One. So when I heard that they
See,
were doing a series, on one hand, I'm like, you know, this could be cool, but can they pull it off? And people like I know the guy who's writing it, Tony Gilroy, who he's been in the writing and directing game for so long. So I really like his bold approach. I think I'm really appreciating what he's doing, man.
okay, so
The and like I said, it moves slowly, but you can do slow burn and move slowly and still kind of hook your viewer. And I think it's doing a really good job of that because it has me really anticipating to see what happens next because the writing is that for me the writing is that taut and the acting is that compelling. It's just really engaging all
but
around for me.
I felt like Rogue One still felt like a Star Wars story. No matter what, all the stuff
It
that's
did.
around, it still felt very Star Wars. This seems Star Wars adjacent. It's not really Star Wars. It's something that's going on. This is a really cool story in this area. It's not Star Wars. I think, and that's where we disagree. Do I agree that this is a good show? It's to say it takes me a long time to start it because I have to get into it. I have to be in the mood to really watch it. But once I watch it, I'm like, okay, I get to the end and I'm like, damn it, sorry, over. But it takes me time to get to it and into it. Tank says, loving the
I
show.
feel that.
I heard someone say every 3 episodes is a story. Like episode 1 through 3 got me to the end by episode 3. I think 4 to 6, episode 6 would be another big fight. And then Derpy said Andor is effing awesome. But it the start of the war. It is the start of the war. And then Derpy says best Disney Star Wars put out. No, it's not. Besides Mando. Okay, I can accept that more.
Yeah, I get with that.
So I 100% agree with Derpy.
But Book of Boba Fett doesn't count because, like we've said many
That's
times,
Mando 2.5.
That's Mando 2.5. Mando season 2.5.
Said
That's all.
world between world Easter egg and Andor episode 4. Did you catch that?
I did not.
If we get Tank, he'll be able to explain that a little bit better. But you know, my favorite Star Wars is Clone Wars, like the cartoon, like
cartoon, yeah.
Yes, that's my favorite. So you understand, like, well, I want different stories that are not focused on the Skywalkers, but I still want to feel like Star Wars.
Mm-hmm.
And my complaint is not really about it being a bad show. My complaint is that I don't feel like it's Star Wars. It feels like a totally different thing. And I guess I feel like that might be what they're going for in the whole first place.
Oh, that's exactly what they're going for.
It opens up the world to so many different things. It gives you opportunity to be able to see the world for where it is, for what it is. And I think it's a good thing. But as I say, it still takes me time to be in the mood. When Empire Strikes Back comes on, I don't have to be in the mood. My mood changes because the movie is on.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, my mood changed because the movie's on. This, I have to be in the mood to really enjoy and watch. And once I do, I'm in. I really am.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So real quick. So we'll do this quickly. What are some things that you really liked about this episode?
I like the secondary characters that we're introduced to. That Andor's introduced to. Some of them are kind of tropey, don't mistrusting, kind of like the young guy, but I think there's room for a lot more development with them. Like I said, my major investment in this show is the characters. Sorry about that buzzing. I'm doing laundry right now. The characters are what's doing it the most for me, and I like that it balances out the multitude of different things that are going on throughout this corner of the galaxy. I
agree with you. I really do, because honestly, there was so many new characters that you're seeing. So many people that are introduced in this episode. Like, this really is going to be like, as Tank says, if 1 to 3 is like one thing, 4 to 6, they introduced all these characters, and we're going to see all these characters get to episode 6, and then we're going to have this big fight. And that's exactly I enjoyed the introduction of 2 new worlds, because I love Star Wars, I really do.
Same.
But truthfully, it's only on 2 planets. Like it's in space and on 1 planet, Tatooine. That's really it. Everybody else doesn't take place somewhere else. Like it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, and like I said, slow burns. I know I've used that term over and over again. Slow burns are a risky move. They're a crapshoot. By that I mean
the Ember can always go out. The Ember could always go out, and you lose the fire.
Yeah, like when I think of like slow burn done wrong, I think like Ang Lee's Hulk.
Oh,
but like good slow burn is Matt Reeves as the Batman.
I like that.
I think this is doing very, very good. Tony Gilroy is doing a good job. Like I said, the writing is very. It's just keeping me hooked, and it's holding my attention. And it's really good to see Diego Luna get some shine. That dude's always been a great actor. So anything that he's in, I will probably support. This is just.
Here's my thing. My question then to you is, where are we going to go? We have these 2 new worlds introduced. We have about 10 characters introduced. Where does it go now?
I'm really thinking we're going to get an. How many episodes did they say there's going to be?
I believe it's
8.
10. Is it
10?
10?
So I think this it's probably going to be one more of build up, Andor kind of gaining their trust of this group that he's been thrust into. After that, I think it's going to be the actual execution of the plan, and that's going to span the entirety of the rest of the series. Whatever wrenches are thrown into said plan, because as with any, it's probably going to hit some kind of snag, and obviously going to end probably on the path, so at least on the path to where we see him, to the kind of character we see he is in Rogue One.
You guys are all telling me that I should be enjoying it more, and my thought is, okay, there's another season of this, so it's not just a slow burn. This is not just a slow burn. It's going to move at snail's pace, because how much stuff still has to happen. And we already know the amount of time it's going to happen, and that's
never for sure.
It's starting to get to me now, because I'm like, okay, well, this is going to happen, and now we're going to have a couple of episodes that we got to have more things happening, and then 7 through 10 is going to be his own thing, and then we have another season. It's not that much going on. Like how? So I'm sure I'm in the minority. I am not sitting here trying to force my opinion down on anyone else, because I can recognize the acting is excellent. The storytelling is very good. I just have a problem with it being called Star Wars. It's not Star Wars. It's not. It's, as I said, Star Wars adjacent. Tell me that at the beginning. But as I said, I'm a minority. If everyone else loves it, I'll gladly just bow and say, hey, you're right. I have no problem with that. You got anything else to say about this episode?
I'd say that's pretty much it.
Well, before you go, who's your favorite character so far?
Andor. He's my favorite character. Title character. The man himself. He's my favorite character. Why? I like the flashbacks that we've gotten of him. I just think he's a very interesting character.
Is he a good person?
I'd say he very much walks the line. I'm kind of inclined to say that he's more of a he definitely walks that gray area, and I get why he walks that gray area. just going by the flashbacks we've seen of him. Definitely not a bad character. I'd say he's leaning more towards the good side, but he definitely walks that gray area. He walks the line.
Skarsgård character for Tank.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say I think I like Bix right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know,
good one.
There's reasons, but that dives more into me instead of the story. But I'm going with Bix.
I like it.
All right. Well, guys, next week we're going to talk about episode 5. I want to know everyone else's opinion. You know where I stand. You understand where Brandman is standing. I want to know what you guys think. So please leave comments, and when you're watching the video, let me know and tell me that I need to get my head out my ass or whatever it is. That's fine. I'm all for it. I can listen to all of it, but it's not Star Wars to me. It is, maybe by the end I'll be won over and I realize I was stupid the entire time. But I'm willing to go on the ride and enjoy the ride for what it is, even though I don't call it Star Wars. I'm gonna call it Andor from now on. You'll not hear me say. Matter of fact, my screen will not have these guys on it from now on. It will not have Anakin. It's over Anakin. I got the high ground. I'm not having it anymore because it's not Star Wars. That's what I'm saying.
Ooh.
But I want to hear your comments. I want to hear what you guys are saying. We're going to do more reviews. We're going to do trailer reactions. I want to hear everything you guys think about it. So please drop a line and we will definitely comment back. So, all right. Next thing. All right. So I'm going to take a pause for a second because I know that you probably need to go. So,
yeah, I'm going to roll soon, man.
No, I mean, I'm all for it. I got you.
Were we doing Woman King next? Hocus Pocus?
If we can do Hocus Pocus, if you can.
Okay, I got a couple minutes before I got to hop in an Uber. We can do Hocus Pocus.
How many minutes you got?
10.
All right, let's make this 7.
All right, bet.
All right, I'm looking at the timer. You hear it? Let's do it.
I got my watch here. Let me put my watch on. I'm going to start.
You better not miss the Uber. I don't be mad at you.
Oh, yeah.
You better have a good night. That's all I'm saying.
Oh. All right. Hang on 1 second. We are going to do 7 minutes. Starting. Now.
All right, here we go. Welcome to the Spoiler Keys, guys. It's Halloween. It's right around the corner. All month we're doing all type of reviews. This is going to be a classic review of, in some people's mind, one of the greatest Halloween movie ever, Hocus Pocus.
You cannot have Halloween without Hocus Pocus. You just can't. It's a must.
I agree. This is, when people think about Halloween, this, Nightmare Before Christmas and Nightmare on Elm Street are like my things. That's my go-tos.
Oh, for sure.
All right,
I have a multitude. I'd say this, the original Fright Night and Trick or Treat. Honorable mention, like we said the other day, Nightmare on Elm Street. Or Nightmare Before Christmas and Nightmare on Elm Street. Honorable mentions, definitely.
Yeah, you know me. I like cartoons more than I like anything else.
Oh,
that's always my number one thing. Nightmare Before Elm Street, even stop action, I think is my favorite thing.
Oh yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm going to read the film synopsis, and then we're going to do just a quick review and then go from there. All right. After moving to Salem, Massachusetts, teenager Max Dennison explores an abandoned house with his sister, Danny, and their new friend, Allison. After dismissing a story Allison tells about as superstitious, Max accidentally frees a coven of evil witches. Bette Midler, Sarah Jessica Parker, and Kathy Najimy, who used to live in the house. Now, with the help of a magical cat, the kids must steal the witch's book of spells to stop them from becoming immortal. That's pretty much the story. All right. So tell me what you think. Where are your likes for Hocus Pocus?
I really like the setting. I really like the setting in Salem, Massachusetts. I love the cinematography of this movie. Very simplistic. And nothing about this movie is especially mind-blowing. It's just good, traditional Halloween fun, which I really appreciate about it. I don't think this movie would have worked nearly as great as it did if it was not for the casting of the Sanderson sisters, Bette Midler, Sarah Jessica Parker, and Kathy Najimy. This is their show. This is their show.
Yep.
And a funny story. I'm not sure how up to date you are on the trivia of this movie, but at one point it was not going to be Bette Midler. It was going to be it was going to be.
You telling me the main witch was not going to be Bette Midler?
The Winifred Sanderson was going to be Cloris Leachman.
Randy, you're breaking up a little bit.
Oh, it's my bad. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah, Winifred Sanderson originally was going to be Cloris Leachman. Originally, that's who Disney originally had in mind for the part. That's who the screenwriters actually had in mind for the part. But Bette Midler was really interested in the project and managed to join. Thank goodness, because who else is going to play Winifred Sanderson besides her?
Yeah, I honestly, that's why I have to say, just to cut you off real quick, Bette Midler, I feel like is the reason why it's such a great movie.
It's
literally surrounds her. It's her. I put a spell on you, and now you're mine. All this stuff is like surrounding her. And Sarah Jessica Parker, awesome too. She's awesome too. But I feel like if I had to pick one person that we couldn't have done without, it's Bette Midler. She really carried this movie.
Yeah, and you could see like you could tell she had so much fun playing that role, and the passion just kind of generates from her. I kind of love her theatricality and the buck teeth and the exaggerated mannerisms, the exaggerated Victorian style hairdo.
Even the makeup, even the lipstick. I mean,
the lipstick, it just, and it just, I'm kind of inclined to say this is like her show. Like when you think Hocus Pocus, I'm pretty sure the first person that springs to mind is Bette Midler.
Yeah, easily. And then you think about, thank God they had Sarah Jessica Parker there because you had someone cute on screen. That's all you really had. That's just it.
Yeah, I think I had a big thing for her and Vanessa Shaw as a child.
You're not wrong.
Yeah, and even Kathy Najimy, originally the role of Mary Sanderson. I think Sarah Jessica Parker was always the one and only they wanted for Sarah, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
But rather than Kathy Najimy, the role of Mary Sanderson was offered to Rosie O'Donnell originally.
Oh, that's angry Rosie O'Donnell.
Yeah, that's angry Rosie O'Donnell, and she turned it down because she thought it would hurt her career at the time. If anything, it would have been a career boost. But this role was very much Kathy Najimy's. As Mary.
I like her more in class act. I mean, and Sister Act. I like her a lot more. Yeah, Sister Act.
Playing a kinder character,
right? Playing a nun, that's just much better. I like her act,
she's great in Sister Act.
But this is such a good Halloween movie. And here's the question: does this movie hold up today? Would you be able to watch this movie today and say it's the same interesting type of characters? And I mean, I guess we're going to find out when we see the numbers for Hocus Pocus 2. But do you think that those numbers are going to be similar?
No, that's a good question.
Because I don't know if it actually will.
I don't think it will. And even with Hocus Pocus 2 out now, I think this is going to be still kind of held in its own individual regard.
Mm-hmm.
If that makes sense. Because it's got so much of that cult following. And I think Hocus Pocus 2 really was made because of because it has so much of a loyal cult following.
Brandon. So, movie came out in 1993.
93. Summer 93.
Yep. So, in my opinion, this movie it's been held together because when we were kids, we liked it and we carried it with us every year. And we are the main people that spending all the money out there in the world right now. That's what I think is really happening. I don't know if this movie is better than a lot of the other movies of the time, like Matilda or any of those things. But we are holding it true. And I think even the fact that we got Hocus Pocus 2 is because of us. We are the target marketing for all this. Not even the kids. We want to share with our kids, but we are the adults. We are the parents now. And we're sharing with our childhood with them. And I think that's why it's coming out. So I don't know if it holds up today, but we're going to enjoy it anyway. Because we're not from today.
Yeah.
We're from the past.
Yeah, exactly. The fan base, has really kept this movie and the movie bombed. The movie tanked when it came out originally in the theaters because it came out like midsummer. Nobody was trying to see a Halloween movie during that time. It didn't really find, but it found new life through reruns on the Disney Channel and ABC Family or whatever they've renamed it to nowadays.
Oh, but even the VHS, all the VHS were sold. They sold more movies than they sold tickets originally, and that's what's so awesome about it.
Yeah. And I know I was saying the other day, Nightmare Before Christmas is the reason Hot Topic exists. Hocus Pocus added muscle mass to Hot Topic.
I think Hot Topic really owes Hocus Pocus and Halloween and the Nightmare Before Christmas. That's why it's still open. That's why it was open all the time. That was it. That was the only reason. And a little bit of Nightmare on the Street. But okay, I'm going to say this real quick. Honestly, said to be real with you, I watched Hocus Pocus 2 earlier this morning. I couldn't wait. Sorry for the sequel. It's pretty damn close to being better than the original, except for one exception. All right. I'm going to enjoy that.
Yeah, I'm trying to be a good boy and wait.
He said, for Halloween nostalgia, the original is a 9 out of 10. But for general, it's just a 6. It's later every Halloween.
I can get with that.
I'm excited to see what we get out of this. And I mean, this is it right now. We're going to probably stop this right now and go watch Hocus Pocus 2 right now. So the next time we come back on, you guys will get a review of Hocus Pocus 2. We're going to do the Woman King on Monday along with Hocus Pocus 2. And then we got like 15 trailers. We'll do 3 of those. And then I have maybe like 3 classic reviews that we're going to do. So I hope to see everybody on Monday. If you guys want to see Hocus Pocus or interested in Hocus Pocus 2, please leave a comment. Let us know. I want to hear everything. Please hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. We need all those. It helps out with all the numbers and everything. It helps us put out more content. So please do that. I want to thank everyone for showing up today. I appreciate Martin and Derpy and Tank and Andy, of course. Perp Minded. Appreciate all of you guys. I said we're doing a little shorter today because I gotta go see Hocus Pocus 2, and Brandon gotta get out of here.
We're probably gonna go watch Hocus Pocus 2.
That's so awesome. So I appreciate everybody, and we're out.
All right, peace.